On the face of it, the link, that very straightforward ahref tag, looks incredibly simple to get right, but there are some experienced web teams and people that make very basic mistakes with this simple tag. Welcome, this is episode 27. It's So You Think You Know Everything About the Simple Hyperlink. An overview. The link is what glues the web together. Imagine a web without links for a second. It wouldn't be a pleasant place. Without links, the web would be a very different world. Links are so easy to implement that they're often overlooked by designers and site owners. Anyone without web experience can use the hyperlink with under 15 minutes of training. However, it's not as easy as it looks. If we look at these three examples here, we've got one from the Guardian, BBC and the New York Times. The links on the Guardian and the BBC don't stand out that much apart from colour, and you want more than colour to define your links. With the New York Times example, they've got a simple underline there, and that's what you want to put on just about all of your links on your page embedded with content. A little trick is to blur your designs and take out the colour of them. In the three examples again, there's not apparent at all that it's a link on the Guardian site. On the BBC site it's slightly better with the bold, you could make that a little bit more out, but on the underlined text on the New York Times that just looks like a link even when blurred, and that's what you want to do for accessibility and usability reasons. So, underline links within content. However, never ever underline content that is not a link. It will look like it's clickable although it isn't, and will disrupt the confidence of your site and with your users. If we look at this example here, just some dummy text I've taken from David Cameron's about the NHS, boring stuff really, but that heading is immediately transformed into looking like a link just by putting an underline in there. So don't give emphasis to elements with underline when it's not an actual link. Never ever do that. Use border bottom instead of text decoration. An extra tip, if you leave out the colour of the border, then it will inherit from the colour of the text, making it much easier to update. If we look at that example there, we've got the colour of the text red, and there's no colour on the border, but the border will inherit that colour red from the text colour. Sometimes though, I don't want the border colour on the bottom to be the same colour as the link text, and I sometimes use a lighter grey. The main thing though to note is that it's not so much the colour, it's the contrast, and the underline must be contrasting with the page content to make sure that the underline is very clearly seen. Increase the length of links. If we look at the top example, click, and then we've just got the link here, and in the second example we've got 6 or 7 words there. Learn how to build a basic wall is much better link than just click here. If you think about a screen reader for accessibility reasons as well, all the screen reader is going to read out for that link is here, and that's just not semantic at all, and that doesn't help the user use that page at all. And it's also better for search engine optimization very slightly if you use proper semantic words and what the page is about linking to that page. It's also a lot easier to click that larger link than it is to click the smaller link. Imagine clicking that little tiny here on a mobile device. It wouldn't be that easy to do. 7 to 12 words are optimal for the number of words in your links. Be consistent. If we look at this example here with the top and the bottom example, we've got 2 links, see jobs and how to apply and view our careers. Now those pages hypothetically link to exactly the same page. And that's not what we want, because these 2 links you need to keep them consistent. So either have jobs or have careers, but don't have both, because that's just really confusing for the user. Again, be consistent. Think carefully about your links. If a visitor clicks on a link titled dog grooming, they are likely to click the back button if they come across a page that doesn't talk about dog grooming or similar content on that page they just landed on. Your links and page titles should be identical, or maybe not identical, but they should match very closely. The first thing a visitor looks for will be the page title to confirm that they are on the right destination. If not, they are out of there and are likely to hit the back button. Too many experiences like this on your site and they will be off. Even one mistake like this can cause a higher exit rate or bounce rate on that page. Be consistent. Don't put links beside each other. If you look at example there, on a quick glance it just doesn't look like there's two links there. It looks like a single link joined together in the middle with something, but there's two links there and you just wouldn't want to do that. It's hard to tell they're different links. It's harder to click each link on mobile again. The solution is to list in bullet points or put more standard text around each link to break them up. So we've talked a lot about underlining links, but do all links need to be underlined, such as navigation links? No, absolutely not. It's very apparent on that it's a new Apple design that those are navigation areas and we don't need to put underline links on those text and link elements. It looks like they are links. It's very different from embedded links within content. Okay, that's it. Short video today. Two great resources. One from uis.edu. It's a great about designing for Scent, and it covers in a lot more detail what I've talked about briefly. And there's also my 6 revisions article, which I wrote, I think it was last year, on hyperlink design. A lot of this stuff is taken from that, and I highly recommend you check that out. There's some other additional info in there. Okay, thanks. Keep up with the shows. The best way is probably on Twitter. My personal account is Johnny Mac, and there's the web payload account. There's also the RSS feed, and there is also traditional email, which is a great way to keep up with the shows. Thanks.